Good evening, everyone. Hello, Marky. How are you?
Rob, good, Baruch Hashem, and you?
Baruch Hashem. Is everyone happy in South Africa, I think?
Why not?
Now that they win the rugby, no?
I didn't know that.
Who's with us? Let's see who's with us. I see Mark with us. Oh, Elna. Erev Tov, Elna. Good evening, Elna. A long time. We missed you.
Who's Elna?
Yes. Do you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, definitely.
How
we
are
missed
you? Sorry. We are very busy. Work and social, so it's difficult. So tonight I could make it.
Okay, good. Thank you for being with us. Who's else with us? I see Brian and Glenda with us, Hilton with us, Gabriel with us, Isaac's with us. Who's else joining? Let's see who else joining. There's a few more coming. We'll just give another few more minutes. Brian, I'm sure that you're happy.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sure that you're very happy that you win the South African win the rugby.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Good. Who else with us? I see Roy with us. Roy iPad. Who's Roy iPad? I'm not sure.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm Roy iPad.
Oh, Roy. You Roy. Who's that Roy iPad? Okay, Stephen joining us. Good. Okay, Rabotai.
You're right.
I'm going to start the show. Let me mute everyone. Okay, I'm going to mute everyone and we're going to start the show right now. Okay, so everyone going to be muted in 1 second. We're going to start the show. Okay, good evening, everyone. Next Friday night is Rosh Hashanah. We done few shorim regarding Rosh Hashanah. We done Tashlich. Tonight, I'm actually going to speak about two different subjects. The one is the symbol, and then the other subject that I'm going to speak is why we don't say Shira in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Shira, it's mean Hallel. Why do we don't say Hallel in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll tackle all of those, and we're going to go in depth, Be'ezrat Hashem. But first, I would like to dedicate the show in the soul of Esther Kaven Bat Ketia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Abraham Chaim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar Bat Zehava, Yaakov Salomon ben Farhad, Dvora Ruth Bat Beila, Shosha Blima Bat Mordechai Betzalel, Malka Regina Bat Joya, Keti Gurgia Bat Farha. In health of, I would like to dedicate the show, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Liora Bat Miriam, Harav Moshe ben Bahia Batya, Harav Moshe ben Devora, Harav Abraham ben Marima, Harav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Dvora Bat Esther, Orna Bluma Bat Miriam, Sheina Kela Bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Haim Nahum ben Pesa, Reza Kohen, Ahuva Kaden Bat Tali Esther, Baruch ben Sarah Hiena, Tzvi ben Hava, Shmuel Meir ben Shosha Blima, Yehuda Hillel ben Shulamit Leah, Moshe Avram ben Hena Riva, Haya Tzipora bat Rachel, Ayala Eden bat Rivka, Tova Liba bat Rachel, Nahum Ze'ev ben Shena Rivka, Yoshua Haim ben Haya Leah, Hana Masha Rivka bat Zelda, וכמו כן למיכל בת, מיכל בת Yehudit, Michal Bat Yehudit. Please God, refuah shlema to all of them. Rabotai, as we announced, we're going to speak about the symbol. One of the customs that we do on the 2 nights of Rosh Hashanah is to take certain vegetable, certain fruit, and Hazal constitutes for us to take those symbols and to say certain brachot on it. Not only that, we have to ask certain thing. That means that we have, when we looking at the fruit or eating the fruit, we'll explain just now exactly what we're doing, we have to ask certain requests. First of all, let's understand where's the source for those symbols. So there is two Gemarot that Hazal bringing. And the first Gemara that they speak about it is the Gemara in Masechet Horayot. The Gemara in Masechet Horayot in page 12, folio 1, Hazal say like this. Hazal say there like this, Yehe Ragil, Inish lemihze reisha, shata, kara rubia, karte, salke, vetamre. The Gemara say that the person should get used on Rosh Hashanah, lemihze is to see, to look at those symbols, that they are kara, we'll explain all of them just now, rubia, karte, salke, vetamre. That's Gemara Masechet Horayot. Remember 12 folio 1. The Gemara in Masechet Kritot in page 6, folio 1, there Hazal say, Yehe Ragil Nish Lemeichal. The Gemara in Masechet Kritot say that a person should get used to eat those symbols, those fruit and vegetable, and reshate, in the beginning of the new year. So we see from here, there is a different opinion amongst the Gemarot. One Gemara say that you should look. One Gemara say that you should eat. What we really should do. That's a shala that's been asked by the poskim, and the answer is very simple, Rabotai. There is some that look at it, there is some that taste it. It doesn't make a difference. Vice versa. If you want to eat from those fruit and vegetables, you are entitled. You don't want to eat, you just want to look. There is something that you can rely on, and that's the Gemara in Masechet Horayot. Okay. Now we see from what Hazal telling us in the Gemara that that's close to 2,000 years ago. Hazal already constitutes for us to eat certain fruit and vegetable. And we have to understand why dafka those fruit and vegetables. Hazal explained that the reason that they constitute for us to eat those kind of a symbol, because those kind of fruit and vegetable that we eating in Rosh Hashanah Eve, okay, the reason for it, because it have a good effect for the Jewish people all year around. And what does it mean? First of all, let's explain what is the symbol, and then I will explain what are we saying regarding the symbol. I'm going to try to explain the spiritual part of it, and also the physical part of it. That means that we're going to go slowly into depths to understand. First, let's explain the symbol. So we have Hazal say kara. What does mean kara? Kara is a pumpkin. Any pumpkin, you can just boil it, you can taste it. As long that you look at it, there's no problem. You don't want to eat it, you don't obligate. Then there is rubia. Rubia is a bean, any one of the bean. And then there is karti. Karti is actually a green onion, what we call it a leek. You can eat. Preferably not to eat from it, because you should not eat bitter or spicy stuff in Rosh Hashanah. Then we have silka. Silka is tered. Tered, it means spinach. Then tamre. Tamre is a date. Those what the Gemara tell us that we have to eat or we have to look. There is certain symbol that been added up later on. The Marana Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo, that born in the city of Toledo, he born 535 years ago. In a Shulchan Aruch, in Siman Taf Kuf Pei Gimel, that means 583, in verse 1, he bringing there that there is a custom to eat the head of a lamb. Okay, the Rama, Rabbi Moshe Isserlish, that he's the posek for the Ashkenazim. He bringing, first of all, he born in the city of Krakow in Poland. He born around 493 years ago. He adding up few things that we should eat in Rosh Hashanah. And he said that instead of a head of a sheep, if there's no head of a sheep, you can eat a head of a fish or a head of a chicken. He also said that we should have apple dipped in honey and pomegranate. And today, everyone adopted those simanim, those symbols, and they're eating apple dipped in honey, eating pomegranate, and also different stuff, for example, carrots to eat, that not mentioned in the Gemarot. But the Ramah also adding up something very important. And Ramah say what the prophet Nehemiah said. He said that we should eat basar shamen. What it means, basar shamen? It's a fat meat and sweet thing on Rosh Hashanah Eve. And the reason for it is to show that, Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should have sweet year all around. That's the reason behind it. Now, I would like to explain the meaning of each one of those symbols that we talk about. But first of all, we have to understand that there is the simple part that we understand what is it talking about. But then there's the spiritual part behind every symbol. And Be'ezrat Hashem, I will try to explain it in a way that it will be easier for us to understand. Okay? And then we can understand why dafka we're eating those symbols in Rosh Hashanah. So the first thing that we actually eat is the tamar. Tamar is a date. After we done the kiddush on Rosh Hashanah, we do hamotzi lechem min haaretz with us, and we do hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We eat kazait, we eat at least kazait, okay, of a bread. And before we start the meal on Rosh Hashanah evening, we take the symbol. We take the tamar, okay, and we say Borei Priya Etz. After we say Borei Priya Etz, okay, we take a bite from it, okay, we eat a little bit of it, and then we say Yehi Ratzon, Milfanecha Hashem Elokeinu v'Elokei Avotenu, She'itamu oivenu v'son'enu v'chol mevakshei ra'atenu. That means that we're asking the Almighty that He will get rid of those enemies and those people that hate us, that try to harm us. Seder Ben Ish Hai, Rabbi Yosef Haim. Rabbi Yosef Haim, born in Baghdad 189 years ago. And in his commentary, the book that called Ben Ish Hai on Parashat Nitzavim on the first year, because the book been split to first year and second year. In Parashat Nitzavim, he explained that a person, when he said the brocha, he must have in mind the intention that the request that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should annihilate our enemy here on earth. So what does it mean? That when we're eating the dates, it's to annihilate those enemies that try to destroy the Jewish people on earth, here on earth. That means physical enemies. Then we say lubia. Lubia or rubia in Aramaic. Lubia is actually in Arabic with lamed. With resh, rubia, it's in Aramaic. Okay, so there's a difference between them. Lubia, it's in Arabic. Rubia, it's in Aramaic. Okay, that's the beam. When we take the beam, we say the brocha Yehi Ratzon milfanecha Hashem Elokeinu v'Elokei Avotenu sheyirbu zechuyotenu utelavevenu. That means that here we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu that our merit gonna multiply. Okay, and not only that, that He actually gonna give us chen, that means kindness. Okay, the Magen Avraham is Rabbi Avraham Abli Levy. Okay, he born in a city of Gumbin. Gumbin is a city in Poland. He born around 386 years ago. And he said that a person that when he said the brachot, if he can't say it in Hebrew, he have to say it in a language that he understands. That means if he speak English, he must say it in English. If a person speaks French, you say it in French. If a person speaks Spanish, you say it in Spanish, and etc. He said that the most important is that when you say the brachot, that you have in mind, okay, that when you say those requests, that you should have in mind and understand What are you requesting? And that's very important. The third vegetables that we eat, or the second vegetables that we eat, because the first one was a fruit, is karti. What is karti? Karti is a leek. It's a green onion. And a person take the karti in his hand, take the leek in his hand. It have to be very small. And again, I repeat again, you do not have to eat from it. Okay? And you look at it and you say, Yehi ratzon milfanecha Hashem Elokeinu v'Elokei avotenu, she'ikartu oivenu v'son'enu v'chol mevakshei ra'atenu. Actually, here, this request is more for the male than the woman, for the female. Why? I will explain. The Ben Ish Chai say that what are we asking here? That we asking that all our enemy gonna be desolated and gonna be annihilated. That the Kadosh Baruch Hu will annihilate all of those enemies. Which enemy is referring to? So the Ben Ish Chai explained again in Parashat Nitzavim there that he's speaking about the enemies that we created from wasting seed. When the male wasting his seed, he said that there is certain, how would I explain that? Let's call it evil forces that created from that when a male wastes his seed. And we're asking a Kadosh Baruch Hu, because those, I maybe explain it better. I'm worried that you're not going to understand. When a male wastes his seed, he creates basically another kind of a human being, okay? The other side. That's mean, in English, you call it demon, okay? And those negative forces all the time try to harm the person, okay? So say the Mekubalim, the Ben Ish Chai was Mekubal, that when we eat the karti, when we eat the leeks, or when we look at the leeks, we should have in mind that all of those that created from wasting seed, they should be annihilated, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu annihilate them, and they cannot criticize against us. So what do we learn from here? That the first one that we say, the Tamar, that we say, Shitamu Oivenu, that means for the physical enemies here on earth. But there is also things that been created, not physicality. They're not physical, those demons. Okay, so we're asking that Kadosh Baruch Hu actually will annihilate them. So they're not criticized against us. Then come the silka. Silka, we say spinach. And then we say like this, Yehi ratzon milfanecha Hashem Elokeinu v'Elokei avotenu, she'istalku oivenu v'son'enu v'chol mevakshei ra'atenu. That means when a person look at the spinach, Rabotai, the Mekubalim say that you should not eat the spinach. Some people love to eat the spinach, but the mystical rabbi explained that it's not good to eat the spinach, okay? And what do we have to request? That here we're requesting that from the Almighty, that all of those negative forces that there is in heaven that try to criticize against us, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu basically will get rid of them, okay? And that's what we have in mind. Silka, remember, on a spinach. Then come kara. Kara is a pumpkin, okay? And what do we say when we eat, before we eat or we taste from the pumpkin? יהי רצון לפניך, השם אלוקינו ואלוקי אבותינו, שתקרא רוע גזר דיננו, ויקראו לפניך זכויותינו. That means in a time that a person say that request, you should have in mind, number one, to look at the word, it said tikra, to tear. You have to have in mind the letters Kuf Resh Ayin. It's a holy name, not to mention it, Rabotai, not to mention it. I'm saying not to mention it, just to have it in mind that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will tear all the bad decree that there is against us, and that's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu will tear all bad decree that there is on a human being. Now, those was the one that the Gemara speak. Then come the Rama, and we say that he said that number one, we have to take pomegranate. What do we say when we look at the pomegranate? What request we asking? It's a יהי רצון מפניך השם אלוקינו ואלוקי אבותינו, שנהיה מלאים מצוות כרימון. That means that in this request we asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we should have amount of mitzvot the same like there is in a pomegranate. And Hazal in the Gemara say something very interesting. Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Hagiga tell us very interesting thing. In page 27, folio 1, Hazal say, אפילו ריקים שבישראל מלאים מצוות כרימון. That means those that empties, what it means empties amongst the Jewish people, those that they're not very strict, not, let's call them orthodox or very religious, are those so they full mitzvot like a pomegranate. What it means like a pomegranate? The Hatam Sofer, Rabbi Moshe Sofer, born in the city of Frankfurt in Germany. He born around 266 years ago. 260 years ago. In his drashot is thing that he says, there's a book, Drashot Hatam Sofer in volume 2. If you want to look at it on page 249, he says in the average pomegranate, that's his words, there is 613 pips. That's mean keminyan tariyad, the same amount of mitzvot that we have in the Torah. So he said that we asking on that, when we say Yehi Ratzon on a pomegranate, that we should have, and we fulfill all the mitzvot that there is in the Torah. And that's the secret behind it. So when we're saying that brocha, when we're requesting, we should have that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us to have those amount of mitzvot all the time. Then come the favorite part, when everyone eats the apple dipped in honey. And we say, יהי רצון מלפניך השם אלוקינו ואלוקי אבותינו, שתחדש עלינו שנה טובה ומתוקה כדבש. That means that we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he should give us a sweet year, okay? Some people adding up kadevash, some people doesn't add up the word kadevash. The Ben Ish Hai explained why dafka we have to eat apple, and why dafka also we have to eat dvash. We see that there is a different mahloket between the Sfaradim and the Ashkenazim, if we should eat honey or we should eat something else. There's a different thing. First of all, let's explain why dafka apple. Why did the Rama decide to tell us apple from all the other fruit? So there is the Ben Ish Hai explained like this. You know why dafka tapuhim? Why dafka tapuach that it's apple? Because Hazal tell us in the Zohar, in Sefer Bereshit, Parashat Chaye Sarah, in page 122, if I'm not mistaken, there the Zohar bring the words Hakal Tapuhim Kadishin. What it means, Hakal Tapuhim Kadishin? It's Hakal, it's first of all a field, okay? Tapuhim is apple. Kadishim, it's holy. That means it's a holy field of apple. What does it mean? That's the Hebrew translation to what it says in Aramaic. It means that when we take the apple symbol, actually the holy Shekhinah, the divine of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. and we take it and we dip it in an apple. Then another interpretation, why dafka we have to take an apple. So say the Ben Ish Hai, a different interpretation. We say the apple is nice fruit to look at. The apple is a very tasty fruit to eat from. And not only that, the apple have a beautiful smell. If you smell a real, it have three different things: looks, taste, okay, and smell. He said there is here a secret. What is the secret? He explained that here we asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'nei Hayeh Mezoneh. Three things: that a person should have children, should have good life, good children, healthy children. That's B'nei Hayeh, that the person should have good life, long life, healthy life. And then Mezoneh, that we're asking for Parnasa. And that's what the apple represents. And we're taking that apple that represents that, and we dip it where? In the honey. That means that everything going to be sweet for us. The other idea is, why dafka apple? The Mekubalim explain, because the apple is actually to sweeten the judgment that there is against every Jew. By that we dip the apple in the honey, okay, we already sweeten the judgment. That means that we're changing the decree. And that, when we set up the request and we're eating from it, is to show that we're changing the decree. Has v'shalom, there is bad decree to good decree. Now, regarding the honey, according to the Sfaradim, they should dip the apple with white sugar, not brown sugar, white sugar. And the reason for it, that they say that white symbol, okay, that kindness, hasadim. The Bnei Yisachar explain why does it have to be, why we have to dip it dafka in the honey. And he said that, who was the Bnei Yisachar? First of all, sorry, I need to explain. Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech Shapira. Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech Shapira, born in Galicia. He born around 240 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And he said, when you take the gematria of Devash is gematria 306. And he said the gematria of the word Abrahamim, the father of mercies, okay? That means that when we dip it in a honey, it represents the mercy. That means that we're waking up the mercy that there is in heaven to change the decree on us. And that's why we dip the apple in the honey. According to the pshat of the dvarim, because we want a sweet here. According to the deeper meaning that the Ben Ish Hai bring, I'm just repeating it, that it was Hakal Tapuhim Kadishim, the field of holy apple. That means represent the divine of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The another idea behind it, that when we're eating from the apple, that we're changing the bad decrees that there is on us, and we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give us the three elements that there is in the apple, that's look, smell, okay, and taste, that they present three things that a man needs in his life. What are they? Hayeh, B'nei, Umzoneh. B'nei Hayeh, Umzoneh. That means children, healthy children, good children, okay? And then that's B'nei. Hayeh is life, that we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give us a healthy life, a good life, okay, to us and to our kids and to all our descendants. And then we ask for Mezoneh, for Parnasa, to have a good Parnasa. Then there's a different custom that it's to take a head of a lamb. Okay, some people take a head of a lamb, and the main reason for it is you don't have to eat from it, is to remind, okay, the Akedah, that when Yitzhak Avinu, when Abraham Avinu took Yitzhak Avinu to the Akedah, when he was ready to give his own soul for the Almighty. So that merit will stand for us, and the judgment awards us that's going to be on Rosh Hashanah going to be a good judgment, that the merit that Avraham Avinu and Yitzhak Avinu will stand for us. The Ashkenazim have a custom to eat a head of a fish or a head of a chicken, vice versa. It doesn't make a difference. And there we say, in both of them, if it's a head of a lamb or a head of a ram or a head of a fish or a chicken, we say Sheniyeh lerosh velo lezanav. That means that we should be a head and not a tail. There is another custom that people put carrot on a table and they say, okay, shetikra roa gzar dinen. That means that they take the carrot that it's, and they say that we say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will tear, okay, any bad decree against us. Those basically the explanation of words or the symbol that we eating on Rosh Hashanah Eve. We have another thing that we have to remember. In Rosh Hashanah Eve, the Ben Ish Hai, Rabbi Yosef Haim said that it's good to refrain. He doesn't say it's better that a person should refrain from eating sour thing, okay, spicy thing. Also, he said that the person should not eat when I say to eat, it means doesn't make a difference if it's sour fruit, vegetables, anything that represent that. The Gaon Mivilna, Rabbi Eliyahu Mivilna, he born around 300 years ago. There's a mahloket where he born in Lita or Vilna. He said that we should refrain from eating egoz. Egoz is a nut. Why? Because the gematria of egoz is het. Okay? So to refrain from eating egoz. That's on a deeper meaning. But on a pshat of the dvarim, why we should not eat egoz that it's not? Because nuts usually give you, when you eat them, they make quite often that you have a lot of saliva in the mouth, and that doesn't help you to daven properly. That means if you eat nuts, the following morning you have a lot of saliva, and you can't pronounce the words properly. That's the main reason for it. But the idea is, Rabotai, if we summarize all of it, because I want to move to the next subject, we have to understand that the symbol that we have to eat is we have to eat sweet thing. Where's the source for it? So as I explained at the beginning of the show, the Rama, Rabbi Moshe Isserlich, bring the words of the prophet Nehemiah. The prophet Nehemiah wrote in chapter 8 in his book, chapter 8, verse 10, Ichlu mashmanim ushtu mamtakim. He said that Hazal explained, the commentary explained, that the prophet Nehemiah tells us that in Rosh Hashanah we should eat sweet thing, okay? Something that is very sweet, to drink sweet thing, okay? To refrain from drinking, some people love to drink whiskey. But whiskey is quite strong taste and it's not sweet. So to refrain from those drinks that they're not sweet on Rosh Hashanah. Okay. Now we're going to get to the second part of the show, or one before the second part. Why do we have all of these fruit and vegetable, all of those symbols? What's hiding behind it? Why dafka to eat? Why dafka? What's the secret about it? So Rabotai, in Rosh Hashanah, is the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu finished to create the world. That is a secret here. HaKadosh Baruch Hu also created Adam HaRishon. Adam HaRishon, בשעה עשירית, as Hazal tell us, חטא. That means Adam HaRishon eaten from the tree of knowledge. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu specifically told them from Kol Pri Hagan Tuchal, from all the trees in Gan Eden you're allowed to eat, except from the tree of knowledge. And Adam HaRishon that being persuaded by his wife, and the Hava was persuaded by the snake, that the Yetzer Hara, he persuaded, and they eaten from the tree of knowledge. In the Rosh Hashanah, that was the time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu finished to create the world, and that was the time that Adam HaRishon and Hava sinned. By that we're eating from those fruit and those vegetables that Hazal constitute for us, we're actually doing rectification for the sin of Adam HaRishon from eating from the tree of knowledge. And that's what is so important to eat and to do the symbol on Rosh Hashanah. And many people, when it's come to the symbol, they actually skip most of it. And they don't understand that here we're doing rectification lechet Adam HaRishon, for the sin of Adam HaRishon. And that's why it's so important. So the symbol explain the Mekubalim, that the main reason that we eat them is to do tikkun, to rectify the sin of Adam HaRishon. And what was it? Eating from the tree of knowledge. Now, we're going to move to the second part of the shiur, and we're going to speak about what the Gemara tells us in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, in page Lev, folio 2. Lev is Lamed Bet, 32, folio 2. Hazal tell us like this. Amru malachi hasharet lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The angel in heaven stood in the front of the Almighty and said to him, מפני מה אין ישראל אומרים שירה בראש השנה וביום הכיפורים? Very valid question. The Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah say like this. The angel in heaven stood in the front of the Almighty, and they said to him, Almighty, how come that the children of Israel are not saying Shira? Shira referring to Hallel. How come the children of Hallel in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur don't say Hallel? Why? What's so different? So the Gemara answer that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to them. Look what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to them like this. אפשר, אני יושב על כיסא דין, I'm sitting on a chair of judgment, HaKadosh Baruch Hu now is the judge, and the book of life, וספרי חיים ומתים לפניי בישראל יאמרו שירה? How can it be that I'm judging now the world, and the book of life on dead is open, and the children of Israel, they're gonna sing? Everyone's frightened, everyone is so in anxiety, what's going to be the judgment for the new year, and you want him to sing? It doesn't make sense. That's the answer of the Gemara. Come the Zera Shimshon, Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani. He born in the city of Modena 318 years ago in the north of Italy. And he asked two questions. First of all, what difference does it make to the angel if the children of Israel say Hallel? No, they don't say Hallel. What difference does it make to him? Number two, he explained why, he asked, really, why Be'emet, the children of Israel doesn't say Hallel? What's hiding behind it? So, first of all, let's answer the first question. Why is the angel asking, to ask if the children of Israel saying Hallel or not? So to understand that, we have to go to Sefer Tehillim. In Sefer Tehillim, in chapter 101, verse 1, in Sefer Tehillim it says something very interesting. Chesed u'mishpat shira. Chesed u'mishpat shira. Chesed is kindness. Mishpat is judgment. Say in Sefer Tehillim, kindness and judgment, you should praise. You should sing. Come, the Mefarshim explain what it says in Tehillim, that what they refer to us, that it says that when a person have to thank Hakadosh Baruch Hu, and Chazal actually bringing it in the Gemara in Masechet Brachot Nun Daled Amud Aleph, that means 54 folio 1. Also, if you want to look at it, it's in a Mishnah in Masechet Brachot, Perek Tet, that means chapter 9, Mishnah Aleph. Chazal say like this. Chazal say something very important. Hayav Adam levarech al hara'a keshem shemevarech al hatova. That means a person have to say the brocha to thank Hakadosh Baruch Hu. We obligate to thank Hakadosh Baruch Hu, okay, for the bad, the same like he thanks on a good. Say the Mefarshim, you know why the angel asked Hakadosh Baruch Hu why the children of Israel doesn't say Shira, doesn't say Hallel? I'll explain to you. In Sefer Tehillim, it said that they should thank Hakadosh Baruch Hu for the bad, the same like the thanks on a good. How come that on Yom Kippur, the Rosh Hashanah, they don't do that? What's different? What make it any different? It's a very, 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 very valid question that the angel in heaven asked. That's why, first of all, we explain what makes the angel ask that question. Why we don't say Hallel in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? Come the Zera Shimshon. And he explained like this. And he said, Nachon, that a person should thank Hakadosh Baruch Hu for the bad, the same like he thanks on a good. That means to say thank you to the Almighty for all the good thing, but he's also obligated to say thank you to the Almighty and bad things that happened to him. He said, but you know why in Rosh Hashanah a person doesn't say, the Jewish people doesn't say not Hallel, and Yom Kippur we don't say Hallel? He said, because in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the books of life and death are open. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu sitting in his chair and he's judging the world. And if he's judging the world, that means that the sentence not yet been decided. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't make the sentence. That means that the punishment already not been decided. If it's going to be a punishment, or has b'shalom, or Be'ezrat Hashem, it should be a good judgment. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges us for good life, healthy life, okay, wealthy life. He said the book in heaven in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are still open. And if the children of Israel will say Hallel, it would look like we're bribing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because in Shulchan Aruch, in Helek, Hoshen Mishpat speak about bribery and etc. In Siman Tet, that means chapter 9, chapter 9, verse 1, Hazal tell us, the Shulchan Aruch Pasken le'alacha, like this, Asur ladayan lekabel shohad. A person that is a dayan, is a judge, not allowed to get bribery. Afilu shohad dvarim. What it means, shohad dvarim? A person not allowed to say to the judge good things. Why? Because if he say good thing about the judge, or about his family, or about his smartness, that's called shohad dvarim, and that you're not allowed to accept. Said the Zera Shimshon, from here you can understand the reason that we're not allowed to say Hallel, because the book of life and death are still open. And if we're going to sing and praise the Almighty, it's like Has v'Shalom, we're bribing the Almighty. And if we're bribing the Almighty, that's not allowed according to Halacha. Therefore, we're not allowed to say Hallel in Rosh Hashanah. And now we can also understand what HaKadosh Baruch Hu answer who? The angel. אפשר ספרי חיים וספרי מתים פתוחים לפניי. The book of life and the book of death are open in front of me. That means that the judgment not yet finished. I still didn't seal the judgment. I still didn't pasken What's going to be the judgment? And that said the Zerah Shimshon the answer. Why we don't say Hallel in Rosh Hashanah in Yom Kippur? Another thing that I would like to touch and I would like to end up the show tonight, the shofar. One of the important things that we have in Rosh Hashanah, Rabotai, is to listen to the sound of the shofar. The first day of Rosh Hashanah, we can't listen to shofar because it's Shabbat, okay? Therefore, on Sunday, we're going to listen to shofar. But Rabotai, the sound of the shofar can change all the decree on a person. One thing is very important to remember, Rabotai, when we daven the tefillot on Rosh Hashanah, we have to have in mind all the time, I'm crowning the Almighty as a king. The Almighty is the king. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the king. That's one of the elements that can help us to come Zakai Badin. That means to be found not guilty in a judgment. The Mekubalim explain. But we have to understand what is the idea behind the shofar. David HaMelech in Tehillim say, in chapter 47, verse 6, Allah Elokim bitro'a, Hashem bekol shofar. The Almighty been uplifted with the sound of the shofar and the sound of the tro'a, the blowing. What's so important about it? In Midrash Rabbah, Vaikra Rabbah, Chazal explained that there is here something very interesting. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu coming to sit to judge the Jewish people in a sit, and he want to judge us with a din, judgment. That means with strength. And the moment that the children of Israel said the Midrash, notlim shofar, the taking the shofar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed his character trait from judgment to mercy. And he started judging us with mercy. Say the Zerah Shimshon something extraordinary. You learn from here that at the moment that we take in the shofar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu changes his character trait from the chair of judgment to chair of kindness or mercy. He changing his character trait. We just taking the shofar. It's come to teach you something very important. When a person do mitzvot before Rosh Hashanah, and we still have a week before Rosh Hashanah, okay, not a week, less than a week. We have 5 days. And then we have another 10 days of repentance between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Any mitzvah, any little mitzvah that a person change, he can change the judgment on him, on Klal Yisrael. That means, by that a person do mitzvot during that time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu changes character trait and judges with merciful and not with din. What do we learn from here? We learn from here every little mitzvah that a person will do before Rosh Hashanah can change the decree on the Jewish people. Every mitzvah that we do before Yom Kippur can change the decree on us. And that's the power of shofar. When we blow the shofar, what is the speciality about it? Why dafka a horn of a ram? Chazal explained that by that we're holding the ram, that we're reminding HaKadosh Baruch Hu the merit of Yitzhak Avinu. Yitzhak Avinu that was willing to sacrifice his own soul, to die for the sake of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That merit standing for us and changing the decree. So how much so, Chazal say, if you just take the shofar, you didn't blow it yet, it's already making HaKadosh Baruch Hu changing his character trait from din, that is judgment, strength, to become more merciful on us, to judge us more merciful. What does it mean? That we have to do everything that we can in our power to do as much more mitzvot before Rosh Hashanah and before Yom Kippurim to change the decree. That means that we have to do everything that we can, a little mitzvah. What is a little mitzvah, Rabotai? A little mitzvah that the person, for example, said the brachot. Sometimes we all human beings. We don't remember if we said the bracha or not. A person, for example, came out of the toilet, have to say Asher Yatzar after he finished to wash his hand, he was, after he been in the toilet, you have to stand up. Then for 2 seconds, or for 3 seconds, whatever it takes, and to say Asher Yatzar et ha'adam bechokhmah. That standing and not walking can help us to say the brachot properly, number one. By that we're mentioning, it's called hituch hasfatayim, that we saying the words, we actually hotchim. What it means hotchim? We actually cut the decree against us. Every mitzvah that we say by mouth and we mentioning it, we cut the decree against us. So to take a small bracha that we say in the morning, al netilat yadayim. Okay, when we wake up in the morning, to stand up for 1 second to focus. Asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. To say the word one by one, word by word. That can change the decree. That's a small thing. That small little thing, Rabotai, hituch hasfatayim, the Mefarshim explain, can cut and change the decree of a human being. And by Ezrat Hashem, Rabotai, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will cancel all the bad decree from Kol Amo Bet Israel and will write us and will seal us lechaim tovim uleshalom, and we should merit to see Mashiach Titkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. Now, time for question. Those of you that want to ask question, please unmute the microphone and I'll try to answer your question. Bechavot. Ken, bechavot. Those of you that want to ask question, just unmute the microphone. Any question?
Good evening, Rav. How are you?
Good evening, Shavua Tov. Jeffrey, how are you?
So thank God, Rav. All good and intrepidation. And that we're coming across now to a very important time, a very important week, which you've just explained very beautifully and clearly. Just a couple of questions. When the angel asked Hashem, why do we not say Hallel? And your answer was quite clear that judgment has not yet been given and that we're not allowed to bribe a judge.
That's right.
So now the question is, we are now going to blow the shofar in order to change Hashem's verdict.
The decree.
Of what,
the decree. The
to
decree.
change
Changing
the decree.
the decree.
Yes, to change the decree. So now,
Yeah.
aren't we doing a similar thing by blowing the shofar, which
Oh,
is...
beautiful question. Rabotai, what Jeffrey asked, we take in the shofar. Rabotai, I have to explain something. If you look at the shofar is always bent. The shofar is never straight. What's hiding behind it? Before I answer the question, it's come to show humility. That we're saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look at the shofar that we take in, the horn of the ram, it's bent. We're also coming with humbleness and humility in the front of you. Why do we taking it? We're coming here to remind the HaKadosh Baruch Hu that who was willing to sacrifice himself on Rosh Hashanah? Yitzhak Avinu. Yitzhak Avinu, our father, was willing to sacrifice himself to you. Please, in the merit of our father, okay, judge us with mercy. You understand what I'm saying? To judge us with mercy.
Right.
You follow?
Right.
That means change
Yes.
your character trait of din to hesed.
And not in our merit, but in the merit of Yaakov.
In the merit of Yitzhak Avinu.
Of Yitzhak Avinu.
That's it.
I see. So
You understand what I'm saying?
we're reminding Hashem.
That's all. That's all. We're asking him, please change your character trait from judgment to kindness.
Right.
Beseder?
Thank you.
You understand?
Second question, if I may.
Okay.
We blow the shofar. It's our custom every day before the month before, before we say L'Dovid Hashem Ori V'Shi. We blow. Is that for the same purpose? For Hashem should hear and be reminded, but not being asked to. We're not bribing. We're reminding Hashem.
Actually, no. The Mekubalim explain that that custom that the Ashkenazi adopted, it's a custom that the Ashkenazi adopted, because it's from the day that the second time that Moshe Rabbeinu gone up the mountain.
Yeah.
And HaKadosh Baruch Hu have so much nachas that they blow the shofar, the sound of the shofar. Why? Because he got so much nachas. So we're saying now, on those days that we're going to judge, we're going to give him more nachas. So what do? We're blowing the shofar. Another interpretation to say that when you listen to the sound of the shofar, it reminds you that you have to do atonement. It's time to do atonement.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So the Almighty actually getting so much enjoyment that his own kids now doing atonement, asking for forgiveness for all this sin.
Right.
And a month before Elul. That means that they're coming to the judgment a month before and they're working on their character trait.
Right.
Beseder?
Right. One other question, Rob. Sorry about this. This is with Adam Rishon. He was told that not to eat. We're not to eat from all the other trees.
Not to eat from all the other trees except the tree of knowledge.
Yeah, they can without the tree of knowledge. So two things happened. He sinned by eating from the tree of knowledge. But here we are in Rosh Hashanah. We are carrying out the positive part of that. We can eat, and you can eat from all the others. And we are actually eating from the goodness of the other trees that and the fruits in which are there. So not only have we trying to rectify that the one part that he sinned, but we're also adding to it by having from the fruits of this which we could have had in Gan Eden.
No. So let me explain a bit more depth what you said.
Yeah.
Well, there is a mahloket in a Gemara. What fruit was the fruit of the tree of knowledge? Eitzadat.
It was, I think, 2 or 3. It's different opinions.
There's different opinion in a Gemara. And Hazal say all of them is right. How can it be? The fruit can be one fruit. Can't be so many fruits, so many ideas. Hazal explain how it was one fruit that have everything inside. The Mekubalim explain that it was the apple. And that's why we take in the apple, like I explained, that represent the divine of Hashem, and we dip it with honey to sweeten those judgments. That, according to some opinion, the fruit of the tree of knowledge was apple. You understand? By that we're eating that fruit dafka, that the Rama constitutes for us, we reminding HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we're doing rectification for the sins of Adam HaRishon.
If you look at it from that point of view, yes. But if you look at it from another point of view, we're eating the same thing. We're eating the apple from which he did.
Yeah, but yes, but we already done the sin. Because now we understand the difference between good and bad.
Yeah.
Before Adam HaRishon eaten from the tree of knowledge, the tree of knowledge will be allowed for him as Shabbat come in to eat from it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted for him to wait for Shabbat, and then he's allowed to eat from the tree of knowledge.
Okay.
But because the snake enticed Hava and caused all the havoc, and he eat before the time, that was the punishment. So we're coming and saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, now that we know the difference between good and bad, that means that we have the evil inclination on us. That's the bad. Before that, we didn't have.
Yeah.
That Adam HaRishon and Hava didn't have any idea what is Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the main reason that the snake enticed Hava, because he was jealous of that Adam HaRishon had a wife and he didn't.
Yeah.
And he wanted Hava. He used to walk on two legs.
Yeah.
If you take a snake and you turn it on a stomach, every snake, you'll see that on his stomach, okay, there is HaKadosh Baruch Hu cut his legs. Every snake have 2 points where the leg used to come. Doesn't make a difference the size of the snake.
Yeah.
It's to show that HaKadosh Baruch Hu cut off his legs, 2 legs. That's mean by that you're eating from the apple, according to some Mefarshim, that was the fruit from the tree of knowledge. You're doing the rectification from eating from the tree of knowledge. By that you say the brachot, and that's what I say, hituch hasfatayim.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes, yes. There's a question, maybe you need a share on that, Rob, but it tends to lends for this question. The question is, was the Yetzer Hara formed, the evil inclination, before Adam and Chava were created?
Very good question. So was Yetzer Hara. Definitely was Yetzer Hara. But they didn't even knew about it. When is it came into them? After they eaten from the tree of knowledge. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created everything in the world, in his world. It was there. But he wanted us to wait for Shabbat to enter. Once that Shabbat enter, is a full weeks of holiness, and we're not going to be influenced anymore by the Yetzer Hara. That means when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, everything created in the world, everything there is in the world, he created a perfect world. Let me give you example, analogy for us to understand. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a wonderful world. Come human being and manufactured what we call it bombs. Then they moved on and they created atomic bomb. Does that mean that the world is not good? Never been created perfectly. It's created 100% perfectly. That's that you throw atomic bomb and you destroy the world, or like happened in Chernobyl, you know?
Yeah.
That they destroy everything there. Does that mean that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created something bad? Chas v'shalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created perfect world. But we as human beings, with our desire, with our evil inclination, whatever you want to call it, we're creating something to destroy instead of building. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, I do. But leads
So
to another
we're destroying the good that Hakadosh Baruch Hu created. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu, when he created the world, he created Yetzer Hara. Hakadosh Baruch Hu told us, wait until, not us, when I say us, because we have a spark of Adam Arishon, he told them, wait until Shabbat. If you wait until Shabbat, gonna get in, then you can eat from the tree of knowledge. Why? Because then you have the strength and the power to overcome the Yetzer Hara.
Or to use it in the right way. Because
Absolutely.
here we have, because without the physicality in the Yetzer Hara, there's no building of anything. So that's part of who we are. It's there to be used in the right way.
Absolutely. No, there's no question about it. I agree with you fully. But the Chokhmah is that if we take the Yetzer Hara and we use it to positive thing. For example, we spoke about the star one.
Yeah.
Chazal tell us a person that born in a star sign of Ma'adin. Ma'adin is, if I'm not mistaken, it was, skip my mind, that people that love blood. So Chazal say he love blood. He's a murderer. He can be a murderer. Chazal say not necessary.
Yeah.
Take that negativity and become a doctor.
Surgeon,
To operate on people, become a surgeon, or become a mower, or become a shohet. Take those character traits and turn them from bad to good and uplift. That means turn everything positively in the world. But unfortunately, these people that take it and create negativity instead of positivity in the world.
And they fall down. They fall down to the Yetzer Hara. Not being in control of it, they become control of you.
Yeah. That means that Yetzer Hara control them and they can't control him.
Thanks, Rob.
Any other question? Rabotai, any question? Anyone want to ask question regarding the subject of the symbol, the subject of the shofar that we spoke? I forgot to mention, Rabotai, very important thing. In Rosh Hashanah, no matter what, Chazal tell us, and especially the Mekubalim, the mystical rabbi, and I forgot to mention it, to be very, very careful not to get upset and cross. Not to get cross and upset in Rosh Hashanah. Why? The Mekubalim explain that the kas, kol ha'ko'es כאילו עובד עבודה זרה. That's Gemara Masechet Shabbat. Chazal tell us, kol ha'ko'es כאילו עובד עבודה זרה. How much a person have to be careful not to get upset, not to get cross on Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because all year round, then you're going to be full of anger. Yeah. And Chazal, again, I repeat, Kol ha'ko'es כאילו עובד עבודה זרה, Gemara Masechet Shabbat, I think 105 folio 2. How much we have to be careful on Rosh Hashanah, Rabotai. The 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, no matter what happened, not to get cross, not to get upset. All the time to smile, to be happy. Mention to every member that's sitting with you on a table, your friend, in shul, everyone, to try to avoid to get cross and upset. How important is it, Rabotai? That's one of the key, that if you want a good year, a healthy year, not to get cross on Rosh Hashanah.
Okay,
Rabotai, I hope that you enjoyed the shi'ur. Any other question? Any other question? No question. Good. I would like to take the opportunity to wish you all, first of all, Shana Tova, Ktiva v'Hatima Tova to all of you. We're going to meet again on Thursday. We're going to do a show on Thursday. I think because I'm not going to give any more shorim and Shabbos. We're not going to read Parshat HaShavua. Maybe we'll do something towards Rosh Hashanah. I'll look at something, but I will send it on a group so you can follow it. And Be'ezrat Hashem, I would like to take the opportunity, first of all, to thank you all for joining the show. Number two, I would like to wish all of you, if we're not going to see you on the show on Thursday, Ktiva v'Hatima Tova to you and your family, that may please God, you're going to be written and sealed in a book of life, in a book of good life, in a book of healthy life. You and Kol Amo Israel and all of us together, Be'ezrat Hashem, will merit to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for joining the show. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.